this episode of Extraordinary Women TV, the show wouldn't be complete without my Good to Know Minute, where you will learn the top success tips and tools from today's most extraordinary women. I'm Shannon for Extraordinary Women TV. We are here at the Queen's Plate, and we're going to be speaking with MJ Decoteau, who is the Executive Director of Rethink Breast Cancer, one of the partners here for the Hats and Horseshoes Party, which is a big celebration, part of Queen's Plate. I'm here with MJ Decoteau, who is Executive Director of Rethink Breast Cancer. MJ, tell us a little bit about the organization.
Rethink Breast Cancer has been around for over 13 years, and our mission is to really re-energize the breast cancer movement and make it accessible to young women. So when I started the organization, I was around 30, and really, there's lots of good information about breast cancer, but most of the pamphlets would have a senior citizen on the cover, and even the types of events that were around, the fashion shows would be geared at that audience. And so I'd lost my mom to breast cancer, and I was worried about, my own health. I wanted information, but I just couldn't find a place that really seemed relevant to someone my age. And so, with friends and family and people getting behind us, we started an organization that's really focused on educating young women about risk reduction and being breast aware. And then we also support young women that are dealing with breast cancer. So, women that are diagnosed in their 20s and 30s, early 40s, it's more rare in that age group, yet that's why they were falling through the cracks. There weren't any specialized resources and programs for them. So Rethink's now a national organization that's serving that audience, and we're really proud.
So do you think that there is not enough awareness, do you think, in a certain group of women?
The funny thing is that a lot of young women are aware of breast cancer, and some of them overestimate their risk. So our challenge is to make people be breast aware, feel positive about empowering their health, really focus on risk reduction for this younger age group. We certainly don't want young women walking around thinking they're ticking time bombs that they're going to get breast cancer at any moment. As I said, it's rare in that age group, but when it does happen, it's quite devastating. There's just so much upheaval in their lives. Some of them have young families, or maybe they're only dating and suddenly they're dealing with surgeries and treatments. They're losing their hair. They're just not feeling, like a young woman. So we have this tricky balance of making young people feel like they can be part of this cause and raise money and reduce their risk. At the same time, we do want people to be aware that young women do get breast cancer, and they have very special needs and need people's financial and emotional support.
And now you are closely tied to the Queen's Plate here, the Hats and Horseshoes Party. So what is sort of the involvement then with horse racing, and how does that sort of benefit the organization?
This is Rethink Breast Cancer's first time being part of the Queen's Plate or any horse racing event, and we were actually approached by Woodbine Entertainment Group. I think they've been looking for the past few years to really elevate the event, add a sense of style and glamour, and Rethink Breast Cancer is known for that. We have an amazing group of young women that help us through events. We're quite known for our Booby Ball, which is our big flagship fundraising event, and it's all people in their 20s and 30s, very fashion forward, very trendy young women that want to help us and help us raise money. So it seemed like a really natural fit. They approached us to try to do a little bit of a VIP event within the broader event, and it's all about finding a fabulous hat and putting on a pretty dress and coming out and pretending you're at Ascot or Kentucky Derby, and this is Canada's version, which is very exciting and glamorous as well.
So since we are at the Hats and Horseshoes Party, I must ask you about your hat. Your fascinator, rather.
I actually just got this yesterday. I was on a vacation right before coming to this event, and so flew into town. Everyone directed me to a store called Lilliput on College Street. Went in, told the owner, what I was doing and that I needed this special hat for today, and I actually took my dress in to show her, and she quickly basically put this together. She had part of it done, and then she just added some feathers that she thought tied in nicely with the dress. So
well, it looks very
thrilled.
It looks lovely. Now, one last question for you. If you had one piece of advice that you could offer any young woman out there who would like to start an organization, any kind of organization, she's got sort of a cause in her, and she's got that she wants to bring out to the world, what would it be?
Well, I think if you have the passion and the enthusiasm and the energy, just go for it. You know, I had a lot of people, you know, just getting behind me because I was so passionate. I think your passion is really what sells you and what can, you know, instill confidence in other people to get behind your cause. And so my advice is just let your passion run wild and enjoy the ride. If anyone wants further information about Rethink Breast Cancer, we have a great website at rethinkbreastcancer.com, and you can also find information about our flagship event, Booby Ball, which is taking place in Toronto, Calgary, and Winnipeg this fall. So it's a great event. Come out and show your support for our cause.
Oh, thanks so much, MJ, for speaking with us today, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more on Extraordinary Women TV. So stay with us. You're watching Extraordinary Women TV. I am here with Bev Jenkins, a Toronto-based artist. So, Bev, tell us a little bit about your art.
Okay, I started out with building up the canvas with gesso and letting that dry, and then started painting on top of that and rubbing the paint into it, and it was too much of a process for me, so I just started using more oil. So about 15 years later, I'm now at this process. So it's just oil that I use, and nature inspires me and color inspires me. So this is what the process is.
Who has been the greatest influence for your art?
Well, I love Monet, of course, and Van Gogh, but Mark Rothko, and you wouldn't think because he's very geometrical, but it's the colors he uses and how they blend and how they play with each other. So I try to do that in my art as well.
Now, Bev, you have a really interesting background, formerly working in communication and advertising. You worked around the world. And then you transitioned. Well, let's talk a little bit about your journey and a little bit about that transition.
Okay. I always wanted to be a starving artist in Paris ever since I was like a little kid, and I loved doing crafts and painting. And my mom said, no, you're going to university, you're going to get a degree, you're going to get a real job. So I went to fine art school, and then I was very interested in film and photography. So got a degree in that as well, and then got a job in advertising, and then moved into public relations and event marketing and sponsorship. And then, so that was sort of like the first part of your life is all education. The second part I found was, work and experiences. And then now I'm really fulfilling my dream. 10 years ago, I quit the vice president job to just paint. And thankfully, I've been really, really successful at it.
So your story really is leaving the corporate world for an artistic passion and endeavor.
And I always had that, And been very, very lucky that I can do it. I show all over the world, and I sell all over the world. And I showed at the Royal Academy's Summer Exhibition in London, which is the largest open submission exhibition in the world. So that just opened up Europe and the rest of the world to me.
So is it possible then for an artist to be successful?
I think so, and I think you have to have, it's good because I have a business background, so I can go into a gallery and say, you have to take my art, you have to see my work. I'm not afraid to do that, so a lot of artists I find are a little bit hesitant to do that. So yeah, I'm showing at different galleries in Toronto and doing shows like this.
And do you mostly paint for yourself, or are you painting for the people that would be enjoying your art?
I paint mostly for myself, but since last October, so I've only just been doing commissions. So people see something they like, but they say, oh, I need this size, or like larger, or I have a photograph of a field by my house that I'd love you to paint. So I've been doing that, but I really, really love doing my own work.
And Bev, one thing I ask the women I interview is what your key to success is, that one thing that has made you be the woman you are today.
I think it's, I'm not afraid to go out and talk to people and just do anything and just experiment with anything. And I think I've done that all my life. Just moved on and just welcomed new experiences all the time.
If you had one piece of advice for a young woman who would like to be a visual artist, to follow in your footsteps, what would it be?
Just do it. Absolutely, just do it. Just go out there, talk to other people, and create something that is uniquely yourself, so that when people look at your work, they recognize you as an artist. When I was at one of the galleries, somebody came in and they said, "Oh, you're Bev Jenkins." And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Oh, I recognize your art." And I thought, wow, that's the first time I've heard that, and that really makes me feel like an artist, because I now have my own style that people recognize. So just go out and do as much as you can, talk to as many people as you can, but find what's unique to yourself.
And has your style changed and evolved over the years?
Oh, absolutely. As I said, it was, I used to build up the canvas with gesso, and I used to do that years ago when I was like in high school and university. And then I just thought, you know, I love oil, and I'm just going to start using more and more oil. I discovered the palette knife, and this is the process today.
And what would you say would be the biggest hurdle for you in taking that leap from the corporate world and really living your passion day to day?
It wasn't a big leap. I think I worked for a lot of agencies. I did the Pope's visit when he was here, managed media from all over the world. I did Formula One launches worldwide. I did all of that. And after that, it's, you know, selling a pair of jeans or promoting a pair of jeans wasn't important to me anymore. It was doing this. So I thought, you know, I had a little show, it was very successful, and I thought, I'm going to do that now, and I'm just going to start painting, and I did, and I've been very, very lucky with it.
Now, your husband has a background in advertising. What does he think about your success as a painter?
He loves it, and he helped me set up this morning. So, yeah, no, he helps me out, move stuff around, but he has to be very careful because he gets paint on him all the time.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Bev, for speaking with us today, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more on Extraordinary Women TV. So stay with us. You're watching Extraordinary Women TV. Speaking with Mary Tripi, owner of Mary Tripi Salon. Mary, I know that you have some involvement with the Canadian Beauty Innovation Awards. Tell us about that connection.
Well, the first year I was asked to be a judge, and the experience was so incredible because I saw new talent, new products, and they were all Canadian, and it's something that I think we have to support, and we have such great talent here, and I'm just so incredibly happy to see that it's happening in Toronto.
I am at Cambria with Natasha Lewis-Ferguson, and Natasha, you are the founder of the Canadian Beauty Innovation Awards. What sparked you to create such a fabulous organization?
Well, thank you, Shannon. I come from a marketing communications background. I've always been very much into consumer interaction and how to best create that. And it basically, you know, the Canadian Beauty Innovation Awards came from my knowledge and experience of, you know, the marketing communications industry. And I found a loop in the beauty industry and thought, you know, consumers definitely need to understand what new innovations are out there right now, and also understand, you know, different self-care methods and unique self-care methods. So this show is allowing consumers to experience that, but more so, it's allowing brands to play on the same playing field. No longer do you have to have the big budgets like some of the bigger cosmetic companies. Everybody's on the same playing field within my platform.
And you did also partner with a charity. Let's talk about that.
Well, lung cancer is close to my heart. I have family members and as well as somebody on my committee who has suffered with lung cancer for the last 6 years. In fact, she just made it out of a really, really tumultuous surgery, and a part of beauty innovation and a part of what we're doing here is bringing innovation to the surface. And there's a lot of misconception about why people have lung cancer. Sometimes they think it's because they smoke. There's a stigma attached to it. There are a lot of innovations that are being put in place for lung cancer where we can actually now figure out what's happening before, being able to see it before it comes and attacks. There are people who have never smoked a day in their life and they have gotten lung cancer and they suffer from lung cancer. A big part of what we're doing here on the Saturday, which is the beauty ball, the inaugural beauty ball, is to support lung cancer and its efforts to find innovative ways to catch the disease before it's allowed to take over the person's body or individual's body. So it's definitely important for me, and I hope that during the show that really shines through, because it's about beauty, and we want people to have beautiful lungs and healthy lungs.
So if you had one piece of advice for any young girl out there who has a dream of becoming an entrepreneur in the beauty and in the beauty industry, what would you say to her today?
Be true to yourself. Never give up. Hard work is synonymous with success, and I know personally from myself, coming where I've come from and working hard, I work hard every day. This is something that's been in the making for the last 10 years, that you just have to keep going until you hit it. And so that's what I would say. Don't give up and just put the hard work in, and you will see something come back, and it will be success.
Well, thank you so much, Natasha. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you.
I'm here at Cambria with Linda Leatherdale. So Linda, tell us, what is your role with Cambria?
It's a fun role. I'm Vice President of Marketing and Business Development for Cambria, so it's all about branding the product and certainly spreading the Cambria love.
Now, you come from a media background. You worked for The Sun for many years. You still write for The Sun?
I still write for The Sun.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey for you to sort of switch gears from media to marketing?
Absolutely. I think given the wealth of my media experience really lends itself to the new role. Yes, I was the money editor of the Toronto Sun for over 20 years, and as you well know, I had my own Moneyline TV show on Rogers, 11 years. I did breakfast television, global television, so certainly I have those contacts in the media. And yes, I do continue to write, and I have been doing the Roy Green Show and the Chorus Radio Network right across the country.
So Linda, I have one last question. If there was a young girl out there who was watching this and she aspires to be a journalist, which is something you know a lot about, what piece of advice would you give her today? Okay, well, first of all, if you're going to go into journalism, don't expect to go to the top job right at the start. It's going to be hard work, and I often say to people, go to your own local community and get a job in the local newspaper. You've got to start somewhere, but always have a dream, and I believe in that. If you have a dream and you see yourself someplace, it's going to be easier to get there. And you're hosting the Canadian Beauty Innovation Awards. Yes, in the studio, we open it up. We've done a lot of amazing things here, including fundraisers for charities, et cetera, et cetera. But the latest will be the Beauty Innovation Awards. What we love about this is they're in beauty and innovation. Cambria's Beauty and Innovation. To partner all together, it's going to be so exciting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And you have Mariel Hemingway here, too. Yeah, well, Mariel Hemingway is one of our brand advocates, and as you know, she's an actress and author. Her Running from Crazy documentary just got nominated for an Emmy. What a great spokesperson with her beauty message, her health message, inner self message. She's just an inspiration to be around.
First of all, I'm a health and wellness sort of I'm passionate. I'm an advocate. I want to make people feel better about themselves in body, mind, and spirit. And part of that, I wrote a book called Healthy Living from the Inside Out. And one of the chapters was all about your home, because I really believe that our home is part of our health and wellness. Like, to have a home that expresses who you are and makes you feel great about who you are is part of our feeling of well-being and our wellness. So it's 360 degrees categories of beauty. So it's beauty on the inside, it's beauty on the outside, it's our environment being beautiful, also helps us to feel better about who we are. And I think that that's really important. And they are one of the hosts of the Rogers Cup this year. I love tennis. My father was a great tennis player, and I used to play tennis as a kid a lot. And my sister was actually ranked in California years and years ago. So tennis has always been kind of a big part of our lives. So it's great fun to be here and watching the Rogers Cup and being a part of a sponsorship program.
Now, speaking of philosophy, I mean, you have a deep, deep philosophy on healthy living. So let's talk a little bit about, I mean, we talked about sort of, the kitchen and your home being important, but let's talk about sort of your philosophy and healthy living a little more broadly.
Well, healthy living is everything you do. I wrote a book this last year with my partner, Bobby Williams. It came out in, when did it come out? 2013, 14? I don't know. I can't remember, but it was sometime very recently. And it's called Running with Nature, and it's about all the things that everybody can do to make their lives better. Not things that you have to pay for, but things that, like, how do you wake up in the morning? Do you drink water? Do you drink water out of glass? Do you breathe? Do you take time to be silent? What kind of food do you eat? Do you eat locally and sustainably as much as possible? I mean, 75% of our population is within 5 miles of a farmer's market and doesn't know it. And when you eat organically and sustainably, you're also interacting with the local farmers, and the local economy is something that you're supporting. So my belief is that how we live our everyday life, the simple tasks, it's sort of a Buddhist mentality of like chop wood, carry water. It's what we do in the simple tasks of our day, how we wake up in the morning, how we eat, how we do things with mindfulness, with awareness, with consciousness, really informs our whole well-being and whether we're going to be successful. So it's about having a holistic viewpoint on life, and it's not just one thing that you do. Like we're talking about Cambria, it's everything. It's your kitchen, it's your home, it's breathing, it's exercise. Exercise is a huge part. We call it Running with Nature because we think nature is such a big and important teacher to all of us.
So how important is it then for women to listen to their hearts and to follow that whispering that's in the heart?
It's hugely important. I mean, women, we're known for having women's intuition, and yet we've kind of distanced ourselves. We separated from our own knowing, and the intuition, the knowing, the heart, that's all the same, and that's our innate understanding of ourselves. And the only way that we can get in touch with that knowing is to get still every day. For me, it's meditation. I meditate twice a day, 20 minutes twice a day, because that's what helps me to go back to myself. But everybody finds a different way to hear their voice. But you have to get still. And it doesn't necessarily happen in stillness. And if somebody says, oh my God, I could never sit in meditation for 20 minutes twice a day, then sit in for 5 minutes. But getting still and silent helps your own voice to kind of be unveiled.
And you were quoted as saying, everyone has the same story. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, the reason why I did the movie Running from Crazy is because I think everybody does have the same story. It's not because my story is so extraordinary, it's so daunting. It's because it's not. That's my feeling. Because when I go and I speak around the U.S. or Canada and I speak about this movie, or people see the movie and they come on my Facebook page and they comment, almost 90% of those people say, I have your story. Of course you do. Everybody has the same story. We all suffer something. I mean, we know somebody who is suicidal or depressed, or we may have felt depression in our own lives, but we don't know what to do with it, and we don't want to talk about it because there's stigma attached to mental illness. And mental illness isn't just depression and suicide and schizophrenia. It's also OCD. It's also bulimia. It's anorexia. It's obsessions with food. It's stress. I mean, everybody deals with stress. So it's about understanding that we all have a story. We all come from something, and it doesn't make us bad. It's all okay, but sometimes we need to tell our story in order for healing to begin.
And congratulations on your Emmy, your Emmy Emmy nomination, and we're going to be rooting for you.
Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome.
If you would like to be a guest on Extraordinary Women TV, visit our website at extraordinarywomentv.com. I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on Twitter at Shannon_Skinner or on Facebook at Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. Join us next time for another episode of Extraordinary Women TV.